RunDreamAchieve.com. Hope you're having a great week of training. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, so I hope you and your family are doing well and you're healthy and you're getting out the door and you're putting in that work because regardless of what's going on in the world, we still have dreams, we still have goals that we want to go after. So this particular video I want to talk on just to share some long run tips for beginners. I don't know, and really the information that I'll be sharing in this particular video can really help out any athlete. It doesn't matter if you're a total beginner or you're at the elite level. There are specific principles that you absolutely must follow in order to be a successful distance runner. And in terms of the long run, especially if you're a beginner, I really want to stress the point that just continue to build your endurance, continue to get out the door, stay consistent and persistent in what you're doing. Because the real success in distance running, middle to long distance running, is really about how consistent you are. If you're consistent in your daily actions, you're going to get great results in the future. The long run itself, you want to get to a point where obviously you're burning fat at race pace and conserving carbohydrates, so that way when you get to the long, those last few miles of your race, whether it be a 10K or a half marathon or a marathon, you have that carbohydrate, you have that sugar left in your system, and you haven't burnt that all up in the early miles of your race. So the long run is absolutely critical in that for you to succeed at middle to long distance running. You have to get to a point where you gradually over time extend the amount of time you're running, not only on your feet and time and duration, but you want to gradually over time spend more time of that long run running at around 85% of your maximum heart rate. This is just a picture. This picture was actually taken of me at the USA Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs when I was stationed at Fort Carson. And I was with the World Class Athlete Program, the U.S. Army World Class Athlete Program, and this gentleman here is Dr. Randy Wilbur. He's one of the world's most world-renowned, respected exercise physiologists in the world. And I was actually had the opportunity to be tested under him. And actually, this is the same kind of treadmill that not only runners at the Olympic Training Center trained on, but Lance Armstrong actually rode his bike on this, and they actually did one of a physiological VO2 max test, which is what I'm undergoing on this in this particular video. So it was kind of a great opportunity to work with Dr. Randy Wilbur, one of the one of the world's greatest exercise physiologists. And this particular test is a little bit more extensive. It's a little bit more. They basically run you to exhaustion. So this may not be as big of a interest to you right now if you're especially at the beginner level. But really the bottom line up front is you want to continue to put in those miles, get to a point where you've laid a strong foundation for your race, and you start running those long runs at faster paces. Now, I teach in my running courses on RunDreamAchieve.com and in my training programs that you need to not run every single weekend hard, but you do want to run those moderate to longer paced long runs at around 85% of your maximum heart rate. When this picture was taken, I was training for the 2007 Sacramento, California International Marathon. I ended up running a personal best of 2 hours, 19 minutes, and 35 seconds. I finished 4th place and as the top American in the race in that year. And it was a lot of the reasons why I was able to run that fast for that long of a period of time was because I was really staying consistent, getting out the door, putting in those long runs, paying attention to running, not only running fast on the track and on the roads, but I was also really paying attention to how slow I was running on my easy days. So in terms of long run tips for beginners that I want to share with you is at the beginner level, it's all about just building momentum, getting out the door, staying consistent, training every single day. But also I really want you to pay attention to relaxing on those easy runs, because you're going to be doing those harder workouts, those track workouts, Maybe you're going to start doing longer paced tempo runs where you're running, say 3 to 5 miles at about 20 to 30 seconds slower than your goal race pace. Okay, so the long run is very, very important because it teaches not only you to handle being uncomfortable for long periods of time, but you're also burning fat. You're teaching your body to become very efficient and very economical at running it for long periods of time, and being very efficient and being able to, eventually, as you do those hard track workouts and you do those tempo runs and you do these long runs, you're going to teach your body to produce much less lactic acid than you would be if you were out of shape. All of us start somewhere. So, early on, doing those shorter tempo runs, doing repeat 800s on the track or repeat 1000s, repeat Ks on the track, it's going to hurt very badly in the early stages of your training. So I want you to be very patient as you lead into your big races. Don't get carried away. Don't get discouraged. Don't get upset if you have a few bad workouts or a few bad races. As a beginner, this is a part of the process of success. Okay, and it doesn't matter if you're a beginner, if you're somebody that's elite level listening to this, or somebody that's a veteran or it's been doing it for a long time. The game is part of the game is part of the process of success is those ebbs and flows, those ups and downs of training. And in terms of the long run, once I started, running my long runs or portions of my long runs, I should say, at faster paces and holding that 85% maximum heart rate, 85% of my maximum heart rate for longer periods of time, I was teaching my body to become very efficient. And the same goes for you, okay? It's a process. It doesn't come overnight. All the physiological adaptations that occur from doing long runs, where you teach your body to handle more or higher levels of lactic acid buildup for longer periods of time, all that takes time. But in the long run, in the long term, if you're training for a marathon or you're training for a half marathon or a 10K, and it's you're doing it between a 12 to a 16-week block of training, early on, expect it to be hard. Okay, expect there to be some challenges. But as you get fitter, your heart's going to become stronger. You're going to become even more mentally tough because you become calloused by getting out the door and putting in those long runs. There is an adaptation called supercompensation. Now, this gentleman definitely knows what that is. But if you don't know what that is, I want you to Google it. I want you to type in Google supercompensation and study that, because that is a big piece of the puzzle that a lot of athletes that are having a hard time getting new personal bests or having mental issues in the race, there's a big component of successful training and specific training methodology that you need to know, and supercompensation is that piece. It's the piece where what happens to the body after you do a very hard workout. Like, for example, this particular test, they run you to exhaustion. So they ran me, I ran so fast that what they do is they start you off on the flat, and they gradually increase the incline on the treadmill as they're increasing the speed on the treadmill. So after this particular workout, I gave myself about 2 days of rest because I wanted to recover from this hard anaerobic workout that I did. This was actually a VO2 max workout, where your VO2 max is workouts like, obviously where you run into exhaustion, where you're on the track and you're doing repeat 200 meters or repeat 300s, or maybe you're doing repeat miles or repeat 2 miles on the track. You want to pay attention to your easy days. So, and that is really critical when it comes to, in terms of the long run, is you want to pay attention to your recovery. How slow are you taking it on those recovery days? You got to give yourself at least 24 hours of recovery, and preferably between 48 hours to 3 days of recovery after a very hard paced long run. Okay, you don't want to just run every single weekend nice, long, and slow. Okay, it's very important that you do still run easy, but you don't want to run easy every single weekend. It's going to make you a very effective long, slow distance runner by running long and slow. So if you're a beginner and you're wanting to run, say, a 10K in maybe under 40 minutes, or maybe a half marathon under 2 hours, or a marathon under 4 hours, you really want to focus on consistent, persistent training and getting out the door, putting in those long runs, but not spending every single weekend running slow. Because to run fast over long periods of time and to sustain pace and not slow down, you have to spend some time training at, near, or far below your goal race pace, whatever that is. So in terms of the long run, especially if you're a beginner, be patient with yourself. Don't lose enthusiasm for what you're doing. Okay? All of the best distance runners, middle to long distance runners, have experienced the same types of frustrations that you deal with, and myself included. I didn't get to a point where I could break 2:20 for the marathon overnight. You do not plant a seed today and get an oak tree the next day. And that's why a lot of athletes, whether middle distance beginners or long distance runners, whether they're beginners or elite level athletes, get frustrated because they want results, and it's normal to want great results quickly. But in distance running and middle distance running, results do not come overnight. It takes time, it takes patience on your part. But if you're patient enough and you're doing the right things and you're paying attention to your nutrition, you're paying attention to your hydration practices, make sure that you're drinking enough on your long runs. This is another one in terms of long run tips for beginners. I want you to start putting out water bottles or fluid every 3 to 4 miles of your long run. Make sure you're taking in that necessary fluid during your long run. If you can put a gel in your shorts, put a gel at maybe mile 7 to mile 14 of your long run. Try taking in those additional calories as well. See what your stomach can handle. Make the mistakes in training first. Do not wait till you get to the race and then make mistakes there. Okay? So that's my advice to you. I hope this video has been helpful for you. I know there's so much to learn in regards to the sport of middle to long distance running. So if you have a specific question in regards to the long run, or regardless if you're a beginner or an elite level athlete, middle distance to long distance runner, leave me a comment below this video. And if it's a specific topic or a question you have, I'll either answer your question or I'll make a video about your question. So if you want to take your running to the next level and you want to get really strong at the long run and really strong in your middle to long distance events, I highly recommend going to RunDreamAchieve.com. Check out the training programs I've created there, as well as the running courses. All of my background, like I said, I have a little over 28 years of experience as a middle to long distance runner. I've been coached by some of the world's top distance running coaches, including Lisa Rainsberger, the 1985 Boston Marathon champion, and Jack Hazen. I've also been mentored by some of the world's top exercise physiologists, not only Dr. Randy Wilber, but Dr. Joe Vigil. And all of my running courses and training programs that I have on RunDreamAchieve.com are all built around all of the knowledge that I've learned in the past 28 years. So, like I said, my results didn't come overnight, but I was able to ultimately run 2:19:35 for the marathon, 1:07:06 for the half marathon, 1:44:05 for 20 miles, 50:54 for 10 miles, and 31:09 for 10K on the track. I've also run 4:22 for the mile and 9:27 for the 2 mile when I was in college. So I have some background with this. I'm a two-time World Armed Forces cross-country, cross-country team qualifier and former member of the U.S. Army World Class Athlete Program. And I don't say any of that to brag. That's not my reasoning. The reason is I want you to know that I've experienced what you're dealing with as a beginner or as an elite athlete. I know what it takes. I've had people around me that have helped me get to the next level. And that's my ultimate goal with you. I want to help you get results, better results by working smarter. Start using leverage. We've all been taught how to work hard. Hardworking athletes, hardworking people don't always get the results they're looking for. You have to seek out new knowledge. Knowledge that's going to get you better results by working smarter, and start using leverage. So I hope this video on long run tips for beginners has been helpful for you. And again, if you have any questions or if there's something you want me to cover in my next video, feel free to leave me a comment below. I do my very best to reach out to all my subscribers and people that comment on the videos. So I wish you guys all the best. Have a great week of training, and definitely a great rest of your week. Talk to you in the next video.